Hello, I'm Becky Dowd, and this is The Journey to Salvation. Join me as we walk alongside real people and hear the unique journeys that led them to faith in Jesus. My guest today is James Weaver. Hey, James.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Journey to Salvation podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming here. And today we have a special co-host, Dustin Clegg.
Hello, Becky. Hello, James.
Good morning.
You sound so official. That's
If I'm co-hosting, I'm going to do it right.
okay. You want to be asked back, I'm sure, to be on this podcast.
That's right.
Yeah. So, James, I think I just got to know you several years ago, and I'm going to kind of let Dustin lead a lot of this conversation because he knows a little bit more about your story. But first of all, will you just let us know kind of how it was growing up for you, maybe until you graduated?
Yes, ma'am. Growing up, I would say I grew up in a church family. We attended the Assembly of God in Wynn for most of my childhood. I was very, very young, didn't really understand a whole lot. You know, I was just your normal kid going to church, soaking in what I could soak in with little brain that I did have at that time. Left that after we had a preacher leave. A lot of people left. I didn't know why. I just, went with the flow, of course. Started attending Fair Oaks Baptist Church. I think I was like around 13 or 14 at about that time. Mm-hmm. That's what all the cool kids were doing, so I joined the crowd. I was a go with the flow kind of guy. Didn't know why, just went with it. Not to mention, back then on Sundays you went to church, you got free ice cream at McDonald's afterwards. So
yeah, that's
that was a plus right there. I mean,
you'd be there, Dustin, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Or I'd at least told them I went.
I mean, I wasn't an out of control kid or anything like that. I did pretty good at school. Great manners. I was the baby of the family.
Oh.
So, I mean, did I get away with stuff?
Probably.
Sure,
yeah.
but at the same time, I mean, the baby of the family, we get a lot of abuse too. So, I mean, it's you don't get away scot-free. Your brothers and sisters, you get it from them.
Not from the parents,
Not
but
from the parents, but from
siblings,
them.
yeah.
So, I mean, but I went with my sister. She was, me and her was real close. She was the reason I went to church. Mm-hmm. Didn't do anything horrible. I drank like a fish back then. That was my thing. I drank, but I always had the good background. Mm-hmm. I would say as a kid. From that, I mean, family was always first. I'm not sure where else you want me to go with that part of it. I mean,
yeah. Well, what happened after you graduated?
After I graduated, we lived here in Wynn, but we moved to Memphis, and lived over there about 10 years, and totally so far. That's I would say when I went to Memphis, got away from family. That's when I would say I went away from church, stepped out of church, didn't go back to church. I mean, it was Memphis. Mm-hmm. That's not something that 18, 19-year-old would start doing right as soon as they went to Memphis.
Right.
So
where did you work at back then?
Back then, as soon as I got out of high school, I was working at the rail yard over in Marion, Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Worked there for about 2 years. Then I got out of that, so I started doing heating and air, which I did that on the side, helped my dad. My dad did it. My grandpa did it. So I grew up doing heating and air ever since I was, I would say, 12, 13, Mm-hmm. I was doing heating and air on the weekends during the summer of that nature.
Right.
But I didn't start it full time until I was about 20 years old.
Okay.
And that's when I got into doing heating and air.
So you've been doing that ever since then?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And so along the way, you've had some kids?
I've got several I would claim as mine, but I've got two myself. But together, me and Brandy, we got three.
During the time that you came to the bridge, that you want to share?
Well, my first interaction with the bridge, I was working for a company called Westmoreland Heating and Air. we got here, we had to do a job, had to do the construction on the new building. First time I'd ever stepped foot into it. That was my first, and you have to excuse me if I get emotional. Try not to, but that was the start of my life changing moment. Mm-hmm. Out of all my children and everything, you know, they're a blessing. Wouldn't change that for the world. But the start of the job at the bridge, like I said, it was total life changing with everything I was going through at that time. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be just another job. I've done several churches, mm-hmm. several buildings. It was just another job, and that's what I went into it looking at. I'd seen Dustin on the job, never knew he was a preacher. I do believe I said some words I shouldn't have in front of him the first time I saw him.
Well, let me back up just a second.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
This was in 2020. The Bridge Church was meeting down in a rented space, and then right before COVID hit, we purchased the building we're in now, but we had to renovate it.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, Dustin, tell a little bit about what was going on in the church as far as writing on the studs.
Yeah, we had it studded up with aluminum studs. Of course, we had to gut the whole building. But I mean, you were involved with it before this happened. You had come in. I think the job had already bid. Well, I know the job had already been bid before the studs went up. Like we had interacted, is what I'm saying, before there was writing on the studs.
Oh yes, yes.
I mean, we had
before the writing on the walls. There was, I think I'd seen you. I'd say a good handful of times.
Yeah.
Never knew who you was. Didn't pay no attention or.
Yeah, I like it like that. So
you're just some weird guy that would come walking around the job site. I'm like, who's this guy?
Yeah, that's
under the radar.
That's totally fine.
And the weird thing was, Kirk, I saw him and I was like, that's got to be the preacher.
Yeah,
I got to be careful around him.
Yeah,
why I don't know. I mean, it's
that's okay. I like
Kirk.
Okay. So the studs went up and. You know, they were up for a minute, and I remember we were meeting outside at that time on the front porch because of COVID and because we didn't have a building. And there was a Sunday, I can't remember exactly what the message was, but it was out of Jonah. I remember doing a Jonah preaching series that summer, and we just committed to that day after the gathering, we were going to go in and write on the studs so that inside the walls of this place, there's scripture, there's commitment to God, there's commitment for us to do whatever he wants us to do. And I've got pictures of those writings. But that was maybe one of the things that pointed you to him, and I'll let you tell what happened when you came in to work on the job, right? You're just coming to work on the job, and you start. It
was just another job. I was the lead man. You know, it was my job to get it done. You know, get the guys going. And I found myself, you know, I noticed, I think, one writing on the wall, and I looked at it, and you know, no lie, I originally I was like, oh, it's kind of corny. You know, I'll be 100% honest. I thought it was corny, and I was like, "Well, I'm just going to walk around." And I saw a few more, and I'm like, you know, kind of chuckled the first time I saw it, and I was like, "Look at this! Isn't this cute?" You know? And you know, the next day I showed up, and I found myself going back and looking. I was like, well, let me see if there's any new ones. See if maybe I'd missed something, you know.
Did you read them all that you saw?
Every single last one of them I saw, I read. I wish I could tell you one of them that stood out. I know in the front entrance, There was one, I guarantee I read about 20 times. I forgot what it was about. It was about strength, getting strength. I don't remember the verse. I racked my brain all night last night, but I kept going to that one. But I guarantee I read every one of them. But that one I'd gravitate towards that one. So I mean, I don't think there's one that got by me.
Mm-hmm.
And what the Lord speak to you in those? You're going through a lot, I know, with different things, and
yeah, at that time it was a difficult time because, I mean, I'd lost my mom. I mean, I lost my brother to suicide, which and my brother was my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to this day, there's not a day that don't go by that I don't think about it. So, I mean, I was going through a lot. And those words at first, like I said, they were corny words. That's all they were at first. But the second day, they weren't corny words. I mean, as the days go by, those corny words started turning into words of, hey, you remember that growing up? It would refresh my memory, different things that I would go through. Remember, you heard this in the church service when you were 10. Mm-hmm. You heard this one while you were at this one. And it started really resonating with me. It really started turning those corny words into just more words that related to me. And I didn't look forward to looking at those corny words no more. I look forward to look at those corny words to keep me going. They helped me out a lot back then. I mean, and I was a tough guy. I kept it to myself, didn't say nothing. Because, I mean, you're a guy. I mean, you ain't supposed to say that. You're a lead man. You're a boss. Mm-hmm. You ain't supposed to let them know what you're doing. Get the job done. That's all it was another job. That's what it was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And that job turned into another job. Went from that to the start of my life. And that's the way I look at that. It's not just another job anymore. That was the start of my life.
That's good. What's cool to me that I'm thinking about is you had the intention of coming in to do a job, and we just had the intention of writing commitments to the Lord. We weren't saying, hey, let's do this evangelical work of, maybe our contractors will read this and be changed. But the Lord took both of those situations, you coming in to do a job and us coming in to write the corny words. Mine weren't corny. The rest of them might have been. But
well, But, at that time, I always thought, the corny words, I was like, well, I always thought they wrote these to strengthen the church, to protect the church, to protect the building. But that part, I will say, the reasoning behind y'all doing it, I will say it's not corny. The reasoning behind it, I'd never thought that was corny. It was just, at that time, that person that I was, that's the way I looked at it was,
I hear you.
So when did you know about all this going on?
I don't think I knew about it until later on in the process. I remember being in the rec space one day talking to Kirk, and James and Tyler walked in through the family room into the rec space, and
Tyler is James's son.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And he was working with you at the time for the same company. And there was no conversation. It was, I was expecting something about the heat and air, but there was no conversation. It was, hey, I'm here because I want to trust the Lord. You'd been coming to church a few times.
Yeah. We had went during the construction of the church and everything. Me and Brandy her and Caitlin went to the cowboy church out there, and I didn't attend because I'm not a cowboy. It's a cowboy church. So, I was my biggest thing. But I went out there a couple times and to show my support with Caitlin, show my support with Brandy, because, I wasn't against church, but I didn't go because every time I went, it was, oh, you're a heating and air guy. Come do my work for me. So I had a personal vendetta against churches for a while. But we went out there to the cowboy church, saw somebody get baptized, and, Brandy was really pushing me. You need to come to church. You need to come to church. You need to come to church. And I was like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I'm not coming to the cowboy church. I'm not going to do it. And she was like, well, we need to go to church. We need to go to church. Doing all the work at the bridge here and reading those words, I knew I needed to go to church. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to go to church. Between Brandy and those words and seeing the different people, getting baptized at the cowboy church, I was like, all right, I need to go to church. Mm. And I had told Dustin and Kurt during construction, just messing with them, yeah, I'll come visit the church. No intention, I was just saying that. I'm a nice guy. I'm going to blow them off. I'm not coming to church. But with all the pressure and all the words, and like I said, I was like, all right, I'm going to come to church. So we came here a couple times, and I felt real comfortable. The words, the way it was preaching, the way everybody greeted me, shook my hand. I did not feel like a stranger. I didn't know half of anybody here. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, walking in the door, I felt so at home. I felt so comfortable, so relaxed. Good. I really enjoyed it. And I do believe, it was the very first Sunday that I came here, we had an individual get baptized. I can't remember the girl's name. It was a little younger girl. I had no idea who she was, no idea her backstory, but she got baptized. We left. As soon as she got dunked, my eyes just started watering. I'm like, what is this? What is going on? Why am I crying? And I'm driving. Had to go to Walmart. Pick up some a little Sunday dinner we was going to cook.
I cry every time I go to Walmart, too. So
I tell you. But we was driving to Walmart, and I'm driving. The whole time I'm just crying, and I'm like, why am I crying? I just don't get it. I don't understand why am I crying. And I look at Brandy. I said, you're going to have to give me a minute. I said, I can't go into Walmart crying. I said, I don't know why I'm crying. Like right now, of course. And she goes, James, you know why you're crying. And I said, no. She goes, yeah, you do. She goes, you know why you're crying. Mm. And it hit me. I knew. Because watching that little girl, which I had no idea who she was, it was just one of the most beautiful things ever. Mm-hmm. Just seeing her come out that water. And I mean, it was just the look on her face. I mean, I've been baptized before, but I did it because that was a cool thing to do. That was, back then I did it because everybody else was doing it. I didn't know why I did it. I just did it. Mm. But watching her come out that water, it did bring back a memory of the feeling of coming out that water, just that instant, just that calm, just the knowing of everything's going to be okay. I know that's why I was crying, but, it's...
Well, it was obvious the Lord was drawing you to himself.
It was very obvious. And then from then on, I mean, it was, like I said, everything else is just in the back. It's in the, it's behind me. I've went forward ever since, and I love it. I mean, I got, like Dustin said, I came in here after that Sunday. Mm-hmm. I got off sidetrack. After that Sunday, we'd come a couple more times. And I had told Brandy at home, I said, I think I'm just going to go up there to the church. I've got to go talk. And I'd come up to Dustin and Kirk, and I said, man, I'm ready to talk. I had told them before, I'm going to come here and talk to y'all. I need to talk to y'all. And just like before, I had no intention at all to come and talk. And
James, I feel like as I was walking off the stage that day, you met me at the stage.
Yes, sir.
On that baptism day, maybe, and you told me I need to come talk to you. Is that ringing a bell?
Yes, sir. Now that you say that does ring a bell to me, because I do believe I was in tears when I came to you and talked to you. I think so.
Yeah. And then maybe later that week or a couple weeks later, it was so cool to me because when I saw you come in the rec space, I was expecting a contractor conversation about air conditioner, and there was no dancing around the issue. It was, hey, I'm here to talk.
Yeah, because like I said, it was that Sunday, and I want to say I came one Sunday after that one at least. And like I said, I told you I was going to come talk to you. Didn't have any intention, and it just kept getting me. And like I said, I did at first. I didn't have the intention to come talk to you, and the words and everything else. It just he was working on me, and I was fighting it. Mm-hmm. I was in denial, and man, I lost. I lost big time.
It's good when we lose.
And I'm happy I lost. I mean, like I said, after I lost it, and I came to you, and like I said, I brought Tyler with me because Tyler, me and he's always been with me. Mm. I fought tooth and nail with him. I'd be happy to tell anybody my backstory if they want to hear it in more detail, if they got a lot more time. But I mean, it was always me and him. Mm-hmm. We were always together, and at that time, I brought Tyler because I wanted my son, the mini me, as I call him a lot of the times. I wanted him to see it. I wanted him to see me just basically being a man and saying,
"Hey, surrender."
Yeah, I can't do it on my own.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I was his Superman, and I wanted to let him see that everybody's got a kryptonite, everybody's got a weakness. Don't be scared to ask for help. Mm-hmm. And all this time, he might have seen me go ask my dad or something like that, but I wanted him to see the real.
Yeah. And so he sat there the whole time. I mean, he was in that conversation, right? And
yeah, he sat there the whole time, and I thought it was going to be like normal, that he was just going in one ear out the other, and it worked on him. So the words, I might have been the only one that read them, but the way I look at those words changed a lot. It changed a lot for me. It worked for my son. Autumn, it worked for her. Mm-hmm. She never read them, never stepped foot in the construction zone, but those words, it still, I read them, but it still worked on her too.
Yeah.
So what's the saying that you always say? Someone's always on the other side of your obedience.
Yeah.
Watching.
Yeah. And that's a picture of James's life, because Tyler didn't trust the Lord the same day.
No,
right?
No. He waited about a month, I believe.
I feel like you were kind of glad about that too, because you didn't want him to do it because...
Yeah, I didn't want him to do it the reason I did it the first. I didn't want him doing it to be a cool kid. I didn't want him to do it just because...
For your approval.
Everybody else was doing it, or I want to make my daddy proud.
Yeah. And I just think that's real cool that you wanted him to see it, mm-hmm. but you didn't want him to just do it because you're doing it.
Right.
Which I think's a good tension.
Well, because he needed the Lord to draw him to himself.
Right.
Yes.
Other than that, it would have been nothing. Just trying to make you proud. But you wanted him to have a relationship with the Lord too.
Yeah, I mean, because it's very important. Where I'm at today, I mean, I would never in a million years think I would be where I'm at, who I am, or I never thought this would have been possible. And I want him to see that. And now I know that it wasn't me that did it. It was something as simple as those words.
It was the Lord that did it.
Exactly.
It's
it was
only
the Lord
Him that
did
can
it.
do that. Yeah.
So after you trusted the Lord, which was a really big deal. I mean, it's just so powerful to me that those little things that neither one of us knew what we were doing, the Lord used it. The construction site and all. And I wasn't prepared for all that the Lord would do with all of our contractors. I mean, it was just really cool that, and it was a teaching moment for me. Like, there's nothing that I'm not using. There's nothing that is separate from me using, like the Lord saying that to me.
Right.
But after that, you saw Tyler come to Christ. Did you baptize him?
I did. I got to baptize Tyler and Autumn.
Okay, that's what I thought. Which is, man, that's got to be really powerful for you and a moment for you.
It was to sit there and baptize Tyler and Autumn, and Brandy as well. Which, funny story, I wasn't supposed to be the one to baptize Brandy. It was supposed to be the kids to do it, and I kind of dropped the ball and shoved them out the way and did it for her anyway.
You couldn't hold yourself.
I was excited. My whole family was getting baptized. Everybody's, we've all done this together.
Yeah, that's great.
Caitlin, was part of it. So, I mean, it was.
That's
and
great.
I was on the top of the mountain. My whole family was baptized, and I got to be a part of it. So, I'm sorry to my kids, but at the same time, I'm not sorry. I should have been faster.
I raised you to do better.
That's right. They should have pushed me out the way.
That's right. But, I mean, that's so powerful, too, that, the Lord's not dependent on our obedience at all. He does what he wants. But our obedience does either pave the way, or our disobedience stands in the way of work on the other side of that. And, man, I don't think there's a clearer picture than your life. And, you've become a friend of mine that I can depend on. And, I'm thankful that the Lord has brought all this together. I mean, we went from not knowing each other and just making weird jokes, jabs at each other to, a friend of mine. So, a brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm thankful. I'm thankful for it.
Thankful and blessed.
Yeah.
James, how is God using you now because of your decision you made to follow Him?
In my opinion, he's made me a lot stronger person. He's taught me a lot. Like I said, I mean, I've got to baptize my whole family. I went from being just a worker to, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a big, huge success or anything like that, but I give all credit goes to him. I went from just being a normal worker to wanting to go out on my own, to being scared to death to go out on my own. I'd wanted to do it for years, always scared to. I mean, I knew what I was doing, but I mean, that's a big step, and he took that fear total way out of my life. He gave me the strength I needed. He gave me the support. My family has been there for me tremendously. If it wasn't for them, man, I'd just be another worker still. And I'm not talking about just my immediate family. I'm talking about the church family as well. Everybody, I look at them. I mean, everybody supported me. There's been times where my phone hadn't ring. I didn't say nothing. Lo and behold, somebody from church called me up, hey, my heating and air's out. Just something boomed like that. I mean, it's little things have supported me. And I know that's God doing it. It's Jesus doing it. He's helped me out on that. And he's, like I said, he's showing my family. You got Caitlin is married to Jesse. They have a lovely baby out of it now. I mean, they're in church. I got another coworker, Cooper, another guy. He's an awesome guy. He comes to our church as well. So he's taught me the strength, but he's also put these little reminders out there for me, knowing to remind me, I'm still here. I'm still the reason you've got this. And it's something funny. Me and Brandy will sit there, like, if owning a business, it's not stress-free by no means. I'll sit there and I'll stress something simple at work at work, and it never fails. It's always after I miss church. Never fails. And we've missed these past 3 weeks, and things got a little stressful, a little scary at work. And I told Brandy, I looked at Brandy and I said, you know what? And she goes, why? I said, it's because we haven't been to church. I said, I know it. And I'm not kidding. 15 minutes later, my phone rang 3 times. A lot of stress, worry went away from me. And and I give credit just to acknowledging that's why.
Yeah.
Just acknowledging, I haven't been to church. That's why I'm stressing out. That's why I'm doing this. Acknowledging that's. And he came and he said, all right, I'm going to take that away from you. Since you know it's me, I'll take it away from you now. So, I mean, he's helped me out. He's gave me the strength. He's gave me patience. And he's always there to remind that he's right there beside me.
Yeah.
Something that I've always done the walk by myself before. Didn't want nobody's help.
Yeah. And it's not a magic trick to come to church, but when we gather with God's people and when we recenter ourselves on the gospel, on Jesus, with God's people, there's something that's powerful about that to regain our attention on Him. And when we refocus that He's over all this, yeah, that's a stress reliever. You know what I mean? Like it's not like we serve a God that's way out there, out of control. We serve a God that's in the middle of our mess with us, and that acknowledgement together with God's people is a big time supernatural stress reliever.
Yeah, I mean, because used to before church, I get myself in a pickle. I'd kick and scream. I'd get myself out of it, and I did it myself, my way. And man, that was rough. That was hard.
Yeah.
Knowing now, I get myself in a pickle. I've got somebody I can just sit there and turn to. Things are a lot easier for me now, knowing, and that's what he's taught me is. It's nothing's wrong turning to him, looking for help, looking for assistance. He's going to be there to help you out. To where the first time he was there, but I never looked at him.
Yeah.
Never wanted his help, and man, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
And he wants us to be dependent upon him, and that's one thing that we don't want to do a lot of times. We want to do it ourselves, do it our way, instead of turn to him.
James, one thing I appreciate about you is I see your joy. Like you've walked through more than what you've shared today.
Oh yes, sir. Most definitely.
You've left out some of the more difficult things that you've talked to me about, and
well, I was scared we wasn't going to have enough time.
Yeah,
I didn't know if y'all brought. I mean, are we eating supper here tonight?
No,
well,
we ain't gonna do that.
If there's something, we've got time. If there's something you do want to share,
but I'll just say that even in that, especially after the Lord has restored you, even through painful, really, really deep, painful hurts, you have a joy. I don't think I ever see you walk into a gathering droopy, thinking, oh, I'm, poor, pitiful me, mopey James. You're always smiling. You've always got some jab, or you've got some kind of joke that you bring into the table, and I appreciate that joy, that fun. Like I never have to worry. Here comes James. I never have to worry like we're fixing to have a 30-minute conversation about how awful the world is. There's joy that comes with you, and
yes,
I appreciate that.
Well, it's life is way too short to sit there and be angry or just down in the dumps. I mean, there's so much goodness in the world nowadays. I mean, it's not hard to look, especially when you got a light shine on it. I mean, I've got a lovely family I get to come home to.
I don't know that I've ever heard you talk negatively about any person. I mean, I don't remember that.
We haven't been around each other all the time.
But I mean, I don't remember a time where you have, like, you may have brought up a concern or something, but I don't remember a time where you have bashed anybody. And I know there's.
Well, who am I to bash? That's my thing. I'm not perfect, never been perfect in my life. I mean, if I was to sit here and tell you everything, well, you, of course, being a preacher, hopefully you wouldn't judge me too bad. But if I was to tell the average Joe of everything that I had done, I mean, I guarantee you wouldn't look at me like this.
Yeah.
So once again, who am I to bash anybody?
Yeah.
I've went through my things. I don't know what everybody else has went through, and that's the way I try to look at everything. My brothers, one of them's liable to hurt me if I don't care. I mean, I'm the baby of the family. I get away with it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I watched my siblings, both of them. Like I said, I lost one to suicide. He sat there. He went through a drug problem, lost everything. I sat there and watched him lose his family, his friends, his job, his kids. He was hooked on meth and went through the needle. You know, things of that. I will say I've seen a lot. And, you know, if he can bring me, my brother, he straightened him up, got him off drugs, got his kids back. Did all this. If he can do that for them, I mean, he can do it for anybody. So who am I to judge? Who am I to bash? Everybody's got their backstory, and everybody can recover from it. I mean, if he can straighten me up from what I did, he can do it for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's I feel the same way. But I appreciate that about you. I appreciate that, you know, when I see you coming, you may be having some struggles, you may be having some trouble, but it's not. Okay, I have to navigate who James is gossiping about and who this. You know, I don't have to do that. It's going to be positive. It's going to be.
Well, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah,
because I've got support now. I've got help.
Yeah.
Years ago, man, I'd wear it on my face. You would know when I was mad. Mm-hmm. You would know. Don't get in my way. I mean, Tyler, growing up, one of my second marriage. Had some other kids. Tyler knew me. One day, he would sit there. This other kid would sit there and did something to me. And my eye started twitching. It was just simple eye twitch. Tyler looked at this boy and he said, "That's when my daddy's mad. You need to leave him alone." You know, and now it's. I don't have the eye twitch as much because I know I've got somebody helping me. Somebody that I can sit there and turn and support too. So it's not on my face as much because, I mean, I've got help.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my help is better than, you know, just holding it in all the time.
Mm-hmm. My help comes from the Lord,
exactly,
the maker of heaven and earth. Yeah.
And we know that God doesn't hold any of that against us, you know, when we confess those sins and turn from those things. So that's gives us hope. You know, and it also helps us to understand others that are going through things and shows them some grace because we were there one day too, doing the same thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Another thing that I appreciate about you is your generosity. I know that, you know, I've made it a practice, like I can only imagine what it's like to be a contractor in the midst of the church. Like, you don't want to, nobody wants to say the church owes me money, you know, but I don't want to put that pressure on people. So we just try to say, hey, give us your estimate, give us your cost. But I remember when we were working on the harbor building over here, you were very generous in like helping us find parts and trying to do that for the least amount of money. And that stuff never goes unnoticed or forgotten. And you've been generous with us, and we're thankful for that. And I hope that you never feel pressure to do free stuff for us. But
no, because the way I start looking at everything, and I was telling Brandy this morning and last night, and I prayed about it this morning. You know, something as simple as those words on the wall can change my life. Can do this for me. You know, it's for the longest I joked around. I didn't have that hanky on the. I got that hanky that Dustin baptized me with those words on it. I had it put in a picture frame. Mm. I didn't hang it on the wall, and I didn't say it to a lot of people. I didn't want to become corny, but I would sit there. I didn't hang it because those words were heavy. Mm. On a hanky at that. Nobody would ever think words on a hanky would be heavy. Mm-hmm. But my eyes, my heart, those are some of the heaviest words because it made me hit rock bottom, and it made me come right back up. Mm-hmm. And I came out stronger than ever. I've got those words and that hanky now. It's mounted on the wall in my office because, every day it gives me just something to look at of a constant reminder. This is one thing that got you there. This is what got you there. Mm-hmm. Mm.
That's good.
And the way I look at it, if those words on the wall can change my life, I'm down to do whatever I can to help somebody else's life out. If it can help me, just simple words, sign me up.
James, do you have anything else you'd like to share?
No, just ask away. I try my best to answer without crying anymore.
Well, you're just human, and what happened to you was personal. Whenever God reaches down and draws us to Him, that should make us cry, because it is the God of the universe loving us individually.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, James, thank you for coming in today and sharing your story.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dustin.
Oh, yeah. I made it happen. It was a long drive, but I made it happen.
Is it 30 steps? I need to count because this is the second time I've had to talk about how many steps that was.
It's probably 30. I'm not sweating. I'm not quite sweating when I get here, so it's probably 30.
Whether those short steps or long steps?
All I've got is short steps.
So 20 normal.
That's right. That's right.
To see photos of the writing on the walls that James spoke about, go to podcast extras on thejourneytosalvation.com. Be sure to subscribe so you'll be notified when a new episode is available.